So yeah, my name is Marin McCue. I run a coaching business. I call it MindBodyLife coaching. Dopamine is what I have named it. I do have my book here today. If anyone wants to flip through while I'm talking or after, you're welcome to take a look. I published it almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, as Jen said, I am a fitness instructor. So I teach boot camp, climb classes, spin classes, and I'm a yoga teacher. I do people one-on-one for coaching. I do small business consultation, facilitation, and workshops. I love to write, I love to create, I love to collaborate. So basically, I have created a life for myself that is everything that lights me up, everything that I really enjoy doing. I have turned it into a business. So I'm very grateful to have put the work in and to be where I am today, especially because this was not my normal for most of my life. I grew up in a Mormon family. I was the middle child of 7, and from a young age, I struggled. When I was about 5, I had, as I can recall, my first really unhealthy thought around my body at about 5. So I was at a swimming pool, and I was looking around at all the other girls my age, and they were just free with their bellies hanging loose because they're 5. And I already had a habit of pulling my tummy in and feeling like I needed to keep it flat. And I remember looking at these other girls and thinking like, wow, they look like they're just enjoying life. And I couldn't allow myself to let go of my belly. So this just got worse and worse and worse, of course, because I didn't really understand what I was doing or what I had control over. So I developed an eating disorder at a pretty young age. It started not too extreme because I was also an athlete. So I was a basketball player, and I actually got a full ride scholarship to play basketball at San Diego State. So I kept saying, as I was growing up, that when I get X, I'll be happy. There was always a reason why I wasn't happy. When I get a full ride scholarship, I'll be happy. When I get a boyfriend, I'll be happy. When I have a 6-pack, I'll be happy. So one thing after another, I got what I thought I needed. And I would have a few moments of feeling elated, and then I would just rock bomb down again, lower than I was before. And it would leave me in this spin tail of what's wrong with me. And I kept a lot of this to myself. I didn't understand how to talk about it. I had a lot of shame around it. I had a lot of people around me saying, you have everything. You know, I was getting recruited by these huge schools in the States, and I was miserable on the inside. So I remember walking along campus at San Diego State and seeing these palm trees and beautiful people and sunshine and warm weather, and I felt like I was 10 feet inside my own body. I couldn't be present. I just was stuck in this darkness that I couldn't seem to let go of. So I ended up quitting at San Diego State, left at Christmas, and then decided I had to go back. I couldn't be a quitter, so I went back, but then I quit after the end of that year, and then I played at Mount Royal, and I quit halfway through the year, and then I went to UVic and played there, and again quit. The sport didn't have my passion anymore, and it was all I knew. So I ended up leaving Victoria and came out to Edmonton and decided it was time to really figure out how to navigate this thing, because the direction my life was going, this was not something that I was willing to do for much longer. So things had gotten really bad at that point. I developed a self-harm habit. I was cutting myself. I was barely eating. I was working out excessively. And finally, I opened up about it. I started talking about it. And what I found in these conversations was that there was a lot of those Me Too moments. Whether the person I was talking to was able to relate and say, I'm going through something like that right now, or I've been through something like that, or someone really close to me is going through something like that. And it was so healing to be in these loving conversations. So I kept opening up, and I kept talking about it. And I kept reading and trying to figure out what are some things I can do to practice my way out of this. Because I realized I'd developed some really toxic habits, and that's all it was habit. And I needed to practice my way into a new way of being. So that's what I did. I just studied and read and wrote and practiced for about 2 years until I really started feeling like I was a different person. And it was from that that I started my business, because I realized that if I can work through all of that, anybody can. And I became really inspired to share my story and teach people how to heal themselves. Because we all can heal ourselves. We all have an innate healer within us. And so I teach people how to find that innate healer. And I inspire people to find their path to be physically and mentally fit for their unique contribution in the world. So this is a new acronym that I've developed since writing this book. So FIT is Feel to Heal, Integrate, and Tools. Feel to Heal is about learning how to be embodied, learning how to feel again. Something I read recently was that sensation is like, the sensations we feel are like the words, the feelings are the sentences, and the emotions are the paragraphs. So to really reframe your life and to understand your life from a new perspective, it starts with getting back into meeting raw sensation and not making it mean anything. So the practice of mindful embodiment is quite simple. It's actually about just being in your body and feeling things as they arise. So if it's tingles, or a sense of lack, or heaviness, or an expansion, or a contraction, or movement, instead of jumping into conclusions as to what it means, just be with it. Stay with the sensation and let it move. This is a way to redevelop how to feel, and then that changes the paragraphs or the emotions that we then express from. You can change the way that you look at your entire life by being in this process. Looking at the stories you tell and what you've made them mean, and get back into raw sensation right now so that you can reinterpret and reframe your life story. So it's no longer a weight on your back, but it's a solid foundation beneath your feet. So that's embodiment. Integration is the process of reclaiming all that you are and recognizing that if you cast any part of you into the shadows or avoid part of who you are or tell yourself you're bad or you're ashamed of one part of your story, you're actually casting all of you into the darkness. And even if you're able to avoid that for a little while, as you evolve and grow, when you get triggered, you're just going to get slingshotted back down into these stuck emotions that you haven't allowed yourself to process. So part of this healing is reintegrating all that you are and recognizing that you're complex. You can be a bully and you're someone who's been bullied. And you can be the most loving, creative, energetic person, but if you're remotely malnourished, you might act like a bitch or a narcissist. We all do it. And so if you can just really claim that and be okay with it and recognize it's part of your humanness and not judge it or avoid it, but invite it all back in so that you can heal as a whole person, it makes a huge difference in how you show up and your energy levels on a daily basis. So tools is the last piece, because if you don't know how to practice, you're just going to be stuck in the same cycle all the time. So one of the tools that I like to teach people is, first of all, how to track sensation. So doing a one-on-one session where you're sitting across from someone and just asking questions. So as someone's telling a story or doing a scan through their body, you might find something like, oh, there's pain in my shoulder, or I'm feeling scared. And then stop. You're like, well, what does that really feel like? What are you noticing? And follow this sensation. Relearn how to be in your body. Yoga Nidra is another beautiful practice of getting into the subconscious realms so that you can reinterpret and normalize and neutralize these emotional charges that all of us live with. So one-on-one is a great way. Another thing that I love to do is teach people how to have a morning routine, because this is really what saved my life. Because 95% of what you think today, you also thought yesterday. And when I learned that, it scared the shit out of me. I don't want to be thinking these same thoughts for the rest of my life. So the morning routine is about choosing words or emotions or thoughts or intentions that you want to have floating through your mind throughout the day. You're more likely to think them later if you took time to really ground them in the morning. So that's why I developed a 21-day challenge. It's through my website. Anyone can sign up at any point. It's triggered the next day. It has video. It comes with a booklet. It teaches you how to create a morning routine and to start with 2 minutes in the morning. Because something that I learned is that meditation is really important. People talk about it all the time. You know, oh, you should meditate. Meditation is actually quite complex. What you need to learn first is how to focus, how to concentrate. If you don't know that, then meditation is just overwhelming. So I started with 30 seconds a day. That was it, because anything more than that, I wouldn't do it. So 30 seconds a day, and I slowly built this meditation habit, so now I'm doing it every single day. This morning I laid down and did a 40-minute Yoga Nidra. First thing in the morning, what I thought was, I don't have time, and so for me that was, okay, now I need it. I need to create time. These are practices that give us time and give us space. So I do have an event coming up on May 15th with Lucy Dunn. We're going to host it in this space, 7 to 9. Lucy and I are all about real talk, talking about our struggles, trying to normalize it so people can feel safe and open about talking about whatever their struggles look like. I'm gonna do a little bit of movement and lay down for a yoga nidra. So yeah, lots of opportunities to connect. I would love to chat with each and every one of you. If anything from what I spoke about today sparks interest or struggle or curiosity, please reach out. And I'm really open to feedback. So if you guys have anything to share or any questions after we complete our show and tell, I would love to engage. Thanks, guys.